A very good evening to everyone present here today. My name is Simran Fernandez, and today I will be talking on the topic an ideal potting and planting mixture for ornamental plants. I would like to start off by saying that all around us we find a variety of plants that have different requirements and want different conditions. There are plants that require a lot of sunlight for their growth, and there are some that are shade loving. There are plants that require a lot of water for their growth, and there are some that do not require as much. In the same way, different plants require different soil types. So today I will be talking on the soil type that is the best for ornamental plants. Next slide, please. What are ornamental plants? Plants that are grown for decorative purposes, that are aesthetically pleasing, that are flowering, are known as ornamental plants. So some commonly grown ornamental plants are the fiddle leaf tree, hibiscus, aglaonema. Next slide, please. Salginella fern, scolias, Pereschia, leaf cactus. Next slide, please. Begonias, calatheas. Next slide, please. I've also made a list of a few more ornamental plants whose pictures I couldn't fit into the presentation, like bird's nest, Boston ferns, foliage enduriums, peace lilies, spider plants, xiphidiums, crown orchids, philodendrons, etc. Next slide, please. Now, what do we require for the preparation of our potting mixture? We require 2 parts of garden soil. When I say slightly gritty, it means that the garden soil that we use should have a small amount or a little amount of rocks or pebbles in it. We need 1 part of sea or river sand. We prefer to use river sand, but if you're using sea sand, you need to wash it before you can use it, because sea sand contains a lot of salts in it, and salts can be detrimental to the growth of the plant. It can also affect the fertility of the soil because it makes the soil saline, and plants cannot grow in saline conditions. We need 1 part of compost. Any compost that is available to you can be used, like you can use kitchen waste compost or farmyard manure, vermicompost. You need 1 part of broken tile pieces. The tile pieces need to be broken down into 1 inch or 2 inches in size. You will also need to make a mixture of bone meal, neem cake, wood ash, and cocoa peat, all mixed in an equal measure. Next slide, please. This is a picture of all the components that I used to make a potting mix. In the yellow container, we have compost, cocoa peat, stones, tile pieces. In the upper right corner, you have the garden soil and sand, and in the lower right corner, you have wood ash and neem cake. Next slide, please. How do you prepare your soil mix? I made a small demonstration on how I prepared the soil mixture. The first thing is you need to know what you require to make your potting mix, right? So I knew what I required, and then measured correctly the incorrect proportions, whatever I needed, and I mixed it all together thoroughly. It's important to note that when you buy cocoa peat is sold in hardened blocks. Before you can use it, you need to soak it in water so that you can use it and mix it well with your soil. Next slide, please. There are a number of ingredients or components that we use to make our soil mix. Each one has a different benefit and different functions, different roles to play. What are these? Soil. Soil is the basic and the most important medium that is required for plant growth. It helps to hold the plant in place, it helps in anchorage of the plant, it gives support to the plant. River sand or sea sand. There are 3 types of soil, 3 main types of soil. There's sand, silt, and clay. Now, clay soils have the smallest particles, and sand has the coarsest or biggest particles. So when you add sand to your soil, it helps to increase its drainage ability. It helps to increase the porosity of the soil and infiltration of water. It makes the soil more porous. Compost. It helps to enhance the soil nutrients. Compost is an organic source of nutrients. It's rich in macronutrients and micronutrients that are very vital to the growth of the plant. Coco peat. Coco peat enhances the WHC, or the water holding capacity of the soil. Neem cake. Neem cake is the seed oil residue that is used after neem kernels are crushed for their oil. It is a rich source of nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. Since its source is natural, therefore it does not have any non-toxic effect on human beings or animals or on birds that may consume or feed on any part of the plant. It also has a slow release, which means that it releases its nutrients slowly into the soil, and not all at once. So the nutrients are available gradually for the growth of the plant. It also helps in maintaining the fertility of the soil because it inhibits the nitrification of the soil. Next, you have bone meal. Bone meal is a rich source of phosphorus and calcium, and it promotes flowering and fruiting. Next slide, please. I also went on to pot a plant. I took a pot which had drainage holes in it. I placed my tile pieces at the bottom of the pot. I filled it halfway through with soil. And I had a begonia that was recently bought from the nursery. I put it into the pot. Next slide, please. I filled the pot with the rest of the soil. It is important to note that you never fill a pot right to the brim. You always leave 2 inches of space from the brim, because when you water your plant, if you fill it up right up to the top, then the soil will just flow out. Next slide, please. This is the final product. Thank you.